Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Finn's Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Finn's Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Smoke Lounge with your host, Shake Money. I got my co-host waiting in the back. Let me bring it up here with no delay. Mi hermano cubano. What's going on, Luis?
Oye, Shake, hola. What's going on,
man? You know, how's your hump day this week? You know, it's hump day. Hope y'all, we have 2 more days till Friday.
2 more days till Friday. Hey, you know what it is, Shake. Just another crazy day in Dolphin Land, man. That's all it is.
And I want to be, I'd be remiss if I told you when we have our merch store, we have Cookin' Folk aprons available for purchase at the website. So if you click on the website and you're going to be grilling before at your tailgate or for the 4th of July, man, make sure you pick up the Cookin' Folk. Also, don't forget the Buffalo merch over here with the 0 Super Bowls. But anyway, and now let's get to a few partners here. We have another partner that we love.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
That is that. And again, we also have W Energy drink. We have my favorite is the Calio cream. I'm going to be buying some samplers. We're going to be doing live previews. We're going to be during the so be on the lookout for that. Backroom Collections. We have artwork, visors for your mini helmets, great gift idea. And with W and Backroom Collections, if you use hash code TFTG, you get 10% off your new purchase, any purchase. Then we have, of course, we have El Capitan coming in at nighttime. You got Color and Ali in the morning. Color will be having his quarterback show tonight at 9:30. Be on the lookout for that. Then myself and the Rabid Dolphin Lewis, we're doing the Smoke Lounge drive time in the evenings. So, and the newest addition to the Fins Tailgate, no other than Mr. Kahari P. So, here we go, man. So, what do you think of that, man? Adding Kari to the fold.
That I was just about to say, Shay. Congratulations to KP, I think, and congratulations to the Fins Tailgate as well, man. That's a great pickup to an addition that is well needed, I would say, not only for TFTG, but in the community. So shout out to KP, man. Welcome to the fan.
And shout out to 72's logo. Shake Money, que vola. Oye, consorte, te amo. Hey, that's what's up, brother. Much love, man. Much love, brother. So, with that being said, let's talk about, let's bring up our guest because he's also getting into the YouTube business. He just started recently tonight. He is going to be doing a show with another other than Ali Dolfreaky at 8:45. Let's introduce the one, the only West Coast Dolphins, my man, Papa Paul. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sheikh. What's going on, everybody? How are you doing today?
You know, living the dream, baby. Living the dream. It's another beautiful day in Zamunda.
You wake up, you're not looking at dirt or the inside of a coffin. You're doing good.
Hell yeah. Or an urn.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking inside of an urn, somehow your eyeball survived.
So anyway, one of the things that we're going to be looking at today's show is we're going to be kind of doing a breakdown. If you look at this morning, we Ali did a thing on coaches, and you know they say great minds think alike. Me and Lou were talking about this yesterday to do a breakdown on coaches, our coaches, and you know this is very serendipitous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, at any rate, right now, maybe later on, but right now we're doing this is kind of like I said, a closed panel. We appreciate the donation, bro, but we're doing a small panel right now. So, Friday we have open panels on Friday, bro. So if you guys want to come up Friday, more than welcome to, bro. But you know, at the end of the day, we're doing something new. I appreciate 72's logo, but
What's up, Fred, out there? I see you're out there, Fred.
Yeah. So they were talking about coaches this morning. So former coaches, sell, trade, buy. It was a great episode. If you missed a top of the tailgate, I'd recommend to watch it. So let's get started with our head coach, Mike McDaniel.
Yep.
You know, he was the running backs coordinator, offensive coach. He what's good, Q? He was the run game coordinator and worked with guys like Mike McFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan. He worked with Dennis Green and I think the Arena Football League, one of those leagues. He worked with. So I think that he's had a quite an extensive background with different offensive minded coaches. And essentially, what do you guys think of his coaching tenure so far? Let's start with the guest.
I like what I've seen. He goes things about things differently. One of the things that's real interesting is I know he's brought in to the practices actually basketball moves, helping with I believe receivers, even tight ends and all that. Just for some reason, he thinks way outside of the box, and I like that. I like it a lot, and I think he's done well. Of course, there was rookie mistakes where the time management was a little bit off on some important games, so we're way off. But I like what he's doing.
How about you, Lewis? Anything to add?
Yeah, for me, with Coach McDaniel specifically, you look at his background. I mean, the guy's been everywhere, starting in Denver, and then multiple stops, 49ers, Atlanta, Washington, etc. And then look at the job he did. I know, could we nitpick some things here and there? Yes, but I'm kind of with Papa Paul. I like everything about McDaniel. And, numbers don't lie. And to be the sixth best offense in the league, now, again, no excuses. He has to get the points per game up and get better in certain aspects. But for the most part, I really do like what I've seen so far from Mike McDaniel in his tenure as a Dolphin. I would say that.
I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, it's like I said, it was just rookie mistakes for a head coach. And mainly that was time management. And I think one of the other things, but like you said, it's nitpicking, is just using some of the timeouts way too soon. But it's a rookie mistake. I love where he's brought us, and I'm hoping to see major improvements this year.
Yeah. By the way, está bien, brother. Yo soy nuevo. No me ustedes. Viva Cuba. Hey, that's what's up, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, like I said, man. Well, when we do a panel, we like to switch up panels. So we'll be inviting. We rotate panel members on Wednesdays. So please, if you're not up here, don't think it's anything personal with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the super chat and the love. But no, man, I agree. Mike McDaniel, he's been a lot of places. He's learned a lot. He was a rookie head coach, but at the same time, one thing. We gotta stop the gaslighting, Mr. Crypto. We'll get your thoughts after I'm done here. Crypto, you heard me? Because I know you just coming in. So let me welcome you real quick. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Shake Money. How y'all doing? Lewis, Papa Paul.
Good, Crypto. How are you?
Been pretty good.
What's going on, Crypto?
Yeah.
Nothing much. I'm being attacked by my grass. It's getting the blades are getting too tall for me. I'm gonna have to chop it down. Got to get my lawnmower going.
For sure.
But it's all good.
So no, I like what we're talking about. Josh McDaniels. So far, he's
Mike McDaniels.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, one thing, Dan, I never forget his name is what was his name? He was the head coach for Florida. He says, at the end of the day, when you take offensive coordinator's position and become a head coach, it's a totally different animal. You know what I mean? So the responsibilities grow. You've seen a lot of these hotshot offensive coordinators become head coaches and then fade into the obscurity. You know what I mean? But then they go back to being a coordinator. Perfect example: Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier flopped as a head coach in Minnesota, and then he continuously had top 5 defenses in Buffalo. So a lot of coaches they go back and see they're doing much better, but yeah, it's different becoming head coach because you're kind of like the CEO. You're in charge of meals, little minuscule things that you never thought you'd be in charge of. You're in charge of meals, flights, all these little minuscule things, the draft, free agency, stuff that you didn't have to worry about. So a lot of people don't understand that a bunch of little things add up to one big thing. So that makes the coach's job a lot harder than just being an offensive coordinator where you're just worrying about the offense. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as worrying about the offense, and then when you're a head coach, you got to worry about the defense too, because if your defensive coordinator is failing, guess whose ass is out of there? You are. So it's a hard job. What do you say, Crypto? What do you think of Mike McDaniel so far? Crypto?
Well, I believe Crypto's on mute, but see, this is before Crypto comes up. This is what I absolutely love about this channel, the Fins Tailgate. We got the homie Ali in here, and Ali already put work in on this channel this morning. Catch him every Monday through Friday live, him in color from 6 to 8 a.m. Again, I keep saying that people like me that are up super early in the morning, I love the content, so I would like to welcome Ali. I believe, they did some things and talked about a lot of this same discussion that we're getting today. So Ali, I appreciate you coming through and giving us a couple more hours of entertainment, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, definitely, man. I really appreciate the shout out and thank you. And I love the work that you guys put in. And if believe it or not, Shake and Lewis are up that early with me, watching the show, making comments. I see them every morning. So that's some dedication to be up that early, going to work, still participating, and throughout the whole day, both on the Twitter side, YouTube, doing on Stephen D's channel, going all the way to the wee hours of the night into the early morning and waking up the next day and doing the same thing all over again. So shout out to you guys for sure.
So
I appreciate that.
Here we go. By the way, I want to yes, McDaniels does have he said he does have McDaniels does have a support staff, but at the end of the day, every decision he has the final say on. So he can have all the support staff he wants to, but he has to make the final decision. He has to put those support staffs in place. So it's not just having delegating. It's all about putting the people in correct places, and that's not an easy job.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Ali. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry if I wanted to respond. I apologize.
No, go for it.
So essentially for me, it's not an easy job for everybody because you have to, let's be real about this. You have to have a personality for it. It has to be like part of your persona. If you look at what you said earlier, Shake, there's a lot of little things that head coaches have to do that you wouldn't think that they would have to do. They're in charge of all the flights and meals and stuff like that. They're in charge of coordinating team events for continuity and stuff that's outside of the field, like going to like the theater together or playing mini golf together or some other type of event that is relationship building events. They're also responsibility for media communications. They are the face of the franchise, right? So they know everybody is going to be looking at them. They're going to have to make sure they play it cool in front of everybody and whatnot. So for me, I think that's something he can do that unfortunately a Vic Fangio couldn't. You know what I mean? He has the personality to hang out with these guys. He's roughly about close in age to them as well. Not to mention that, you know, he knows what's in, what's out. He wears the swag clothes that he knows that's in. He has the personality to put up front, and he can roll with it because, you know, he's into that's part of who he is. You know what I mean? You can put him on social media, you can put him on YouTube, you can put him on the Pat McAfee show, and he'll be a rock and roll star for you all day long. You know what I mean? That's something I just don't see Vic Fangio wanting to do. Not to say that he's a bad coach. Don't get me wrong. In my opinion, Vic Fangio is one of the best, if not the best, defensive coordinator in this league today. There's no joke about it. But as a coach standpoint, I don't know if he would do all the same stuff just like what McDaniel would do. I just don't see it working out that way.
By the way, let me introduce our next guest. This man is one cool brother, and not just by his last name, Mr. Dolphin Winters. What's going on?
Shake Money, I appreciate you having me on, brother. Thank you for the introduction, man. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
What's up, man?
What's up? What up?
And like I said, now that they're both here, remember the link to West Coast Dolphins Fan Club YouTube channel. It's airing tonight at 8:45. Is in the link. Link is in the description. Another link that's also in the description, and I'm gonna let you guys talk about it. The Jason Taylor, Jason Taylor 4th of July raffle. Can you please explain that before we continue?
Yeah. Well, it's a American flag style jersey, Jason Taylor jersey, signed by Jason Taylor. But we also have a American flag style mini helmet, custom mini helmet, made by Tom O'Gara, and he got it signed, so he'll guarantee it to pass by Coder Kohu. And and it's just $5 a ticket or 6 tickets for $25. It's all going to our foundation of West Coast Helping Hands Incorporated. But the main thing we're raising money for right now is on Fan Club Weekend, I am doing with several of the members a 2-mile walk for PKD, which is, if you don't know what PKD is polycystic kidney disease. And that's near and dear to me because I have that. My whole family, my siblings all have it. I've lost a brother this just last year to it. So that's what we're raising money for now. Some of the money out of that will go towards getting stuff for other fundraisers, but most of it will go to PKD.
Okay, that's what's up.
Well, Papa Paul, I feel for you because 4 years ago I lost my mom to kidney disease.
Yeah, kidney disease is tough because a lot of them, there is no cure. They end up on dialysis sooner or later, and then you just hope and pray you're eligible and can find a kidney for a transplant.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel for you, Crypto, because that's what my mom died of back in 2006, and you're always missing her, I'm sure.
Yep.
So now, what do you think of? By the way, I'm gonna ask you the question. What do you think of Coach? We're talking about we're breaking down the coaches, like I mentioned to you yesterday. Right. What do you think of McDaniel so far as the head coach?
I mean, right now as the first year, I'll say this: as the first year, I give him a B. I mean, he's made rookie head coach decisions and he's made mistakes as a rookie head coach as well. I think the guy, I like his style because he's extremely methodical. He doesn't give you the answers that you think he's going to give you to a basic or simple question. He really makes you think about the answers that he gives you. He is a little zany. He's a little zany in his character, but I like it because it's not like any other coach. You know, and the dude is extremely intelligent. I mean, the man went to a Ivy League college, so he ain't no dummy. So I say for the first year, I give him a B. I expect him to work on clock management and stuff like that. That was my major thing with him last year was clock management on certain situations. You know, so and the running game, he abandoned the running game, and he got real pass happy. So I think we need to have a balanced attack this year from McDaniel, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. See, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, Dolphin Winners. Yeah, you were on the panel the other night. I had dropped off. I had some things to go take care of, but I appreciate you coming through, homie. I think this is the first time I got to talk to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the one thing I would want to add to that, right? And this is where I was at with Flores as well. When we brought in Brian Flores, he was a defensive-minded head coach. We all knew it. That's what we were getting. And in my opinion, he got the job done, right? Whether forget about the rankings or whatever, just from an optics perspective, when you were watching the team, you could feel the defense. You've seen the impact they had, right? 26 or 27 straight game of a turnover or more. Like you could feel Brian Flores' impact. Same thing I got with Mike McDaniel. I agree with you. There were some rookie head coaching mistakes he's admitted to. I think he'll be better for it. But he was brought in to change this offense, right? And the top 6 ranked offense in the league, bro, he got the job done. You know, his job specifically was coming in here, fixing Tua, fixing the offense, and he did that. So that's where I'm at with it. I like everything you said. I just wanted to add that on top of that as well.
I fully agree with everything you added on. Like, I really feel that for this season coming up, the question mark is how great is this Fangio defense going to be? The question mark is how good is this O-line going to be? The big question mark is what people are not talking about is our special teams, where we were 31st ranked in special teams last year, only behind or in front of the Philadelphia Eagles, which was 32nd in special teams last year. So the key thing is, I don't know why we kept the special teams coach, but we'll see about that as well. So, you know, we're trying to have a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense. That's great, but it's not great if it comes down to special teams. And the last thing we need is having a punt return or a kick return ran back on us, and it like kills our chances of winning one of a huge important game. So that's the thing I worry about this season. But it's literally it's literally, thank you. It's literally we have to wait and see, and we have to be patient. And it's us as football fans, when you get a brand new coordinator and or a coach, you have to be patient, which we have a brand new defensive coordinator. The advantages are the majority of the defensive players know his scheme. That's the advantage of it. Now, working together, getting things together, that's what we're waiting to see as fans. So that's what I'm really excited about. I will tell you this. If I had to pick offense, defense, or special teams, I'm a defensive dude. I love defense. To me, defense wins championships. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean?
Agree.
So,
by the way, we got okay. I know you love my team, but you're all full of shit. I don't mean to disrespect this team, but a bunch of pussies. I'm an old guy. I've been in camp since 1971, and then he follows up. I love you guys. Don't take it personal. I don't take nothing personal, bro. So you're good, bro. But hey, I appreciate the donation, bro.
right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Winners. And as I said earlier, Coach McDaniels, I like him because he thinks outside of the box.
Hey, say it, Cubano. Don't fuck with me. I love your show. Louis, you want to say it? Want to take that?
Well, no. What I would just say the 72's logo, because I get the skepticism, right? When and he's the one that's saying it. He's an older gentleman, and for hell, I'm in my 40s. I remember the days of some of the glory days, and I also remember some of the tribulation. I've been here for the last 30 years watching this dumpster fire, in my opinion, right? So I get the skepticism, but this is just where I'm at with the fan base, and I try to tell this to people all the time. If you can't just look at how the roster, and I don't care how we get there, or people want to blame Greer for some of his draft picks that he missed, okay, that's fine. If you want to blame the quarterback, I get everything. But when I look at it, and I look at a roster, and I got T. Armstead, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Phillips, Chubbs, Ramsey, Howard, and the list goes, Tua for that matter. When I look at it, right, and that from a coaching perspective as well, McDaniel and Fangio, I'm just at the mindset, if you can't get on board with this roster or this team, you might as well jump off a bridge because you're never going to be happy. You see
Amen.
what I'm saying? Now
Amen.
it has to translate on the field, right? I get it. Like, we have to wait and see. I think that's what Winters had a good point, and so did Papa Paul. You have to see it translate on the field, but we're not there yet, right? We haven't been able to have a chance to see it. But all I'm saying is, bro, let's start getting behind it, because this roster-wise, again, bro, there, in my opinion, there's few and far between rosters in the NFL that can compare to the Miami Dolphins. And that's just where I'm at with it.
I agree with you, Lewis. It is, if you can't get behind it now, I mean, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you can't get on board with this team right now, you're just blind. You know, yeah, we got to wait and see, but that's with any team. You know, and everybody's like, well, it's going to be the same old same. Well, why are you saying that? It's not going to be the same old same old. It's only going to be that way if you think it is. But it's not. It's on paper, we have the best team going. And hopefully they can gel and be the team that we want them to be, because they got the skills and the power to do it. We just got to wait and see, like Winters say.
And to add on to that, Paul, and to add on to both of you gentlemen, to the fan base. The fan base really needs to take a chill pill. A lot of you guys, and I'm speaking to all fans out there, a lot of y'all need to take a chill pill. I listen to your show, Shake. I listen to Caller. I listen to all of these different podcasts. Some of you do have some great points. A lot of you guys need a chill pill. Seriously. A huge one. Because at the end of the day, this is all our opinions as things that we would love to see and all of that. But at the end of the day, man, we are all what? Miami Dolphin fans. We're going to have Tua on. We're going to have fans like myself that are behind Tua, but still on the fence of them. That doesn't mean I don't like them. That doesn't mean that I don't want to see him succeed, because I want to see my quarterback succeed. Doesn't matter who's behind the center. I want to see them succeed. If you don't want to see the quarterback succeed, then what does that tell you? Something's wrong with you, because you have a category of fans out here that shit on Tua. I'll say it. They shit on him for no reason. The man has a great game. Well, he didn't do this. Yo, shut the fuck up. Like, sometimes you can just sit there and be like straight up. See, I can say this on here, Paul. We can't do this later. I can say this on here. You know why I'm going off?
I don't mind it here and there, but
because, like, well, yeah, but no, I can go off on here a little bit. But on some real, like, it's really to a point. I listen to everybody, and I take a little bit from everybody, little piece by piece. But some of the people, man, I listen to, I'll be like, the fuck are they on today? Like, real shit. Like, real shit. I love like did you watch the same game I watched? Did you watch the same highlights that I watched? Did you watch the same? Like, I just want to know. Like, because some of the points, and I would love to be on here when you have your Tua haters and all that. Please pencil me in. I love all the smoke. We just inhaled 108 the smoke from Canada. So I want all the smoke. For real.
It's crazy.
Man, you know what?
1,000%.
It's starting to sound like a Dolphin Winters and a Rabid Dolphin show is on the horizon, man. That's what it sounded like.
Listen, I'm open-minded, and I'm
tell you, Winters will preach it to you.
Hey, man. Hey, so when you guys
I absolutely love the energy. I absolutely love where he's coming from. Absolutely.
Thank you.
By the way, so from what I'm telling you, so from what I'm seeing on the West Coast Dolphin fans, I'm the Papa Paul and you're the Lewis of the team.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. You know, because it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, we all want to see this team win a Super Bowl. That's the key thing. But to sit there and be bickering, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no problems debating on shit that happens on the field. I have no problems talking about that. But then when it gets to a point where it's like just completely disrespectful and they're just ignorant to the fact, it's like, what fucking planet are you on? Like, really? Like,
exactly.
you know, because I've heard some off the wall shit.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, Dolphins winner. I have a question though. Do you agree that it should be the same energy across the board for everybody? because
Yes.
this is what the reason what I'm talking about is like there's people up in here like I'm kind of like you. Like I'll support my quarterback no matter who the name is on the back of their jersey. You know, the logo is what matters to me the most, right? So I don't really care who the quarterback is as long as we're winning. That's all that matters to me.
Absolutely.
And when I try to give other people that may be in the same position, i.e., we'll just say Skylar Thompson, for example, some credit and good things that he does, there are people in this fan base that actually go and bash him and try to marquee Tua. You know, you can't replace Tua, and constantly bring up the QB2 versus QB1 or QB3. Like right now, there's a huge fan base coming through that's trying to hype up Mike White, saying that, you know, see, he's QB3, he's going to take Skylar's job. Well, the media, the people that been in the media, that been in the mini camps and OTAs said that Mike White looks like shit. That's what they're saying. So you're gonna tell me? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but my thing is, if you're gonna sit there and say, don't be ridiculous on one QB, it needs to go across the whole board. Don't be ridiculous both ways.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct.
That's a good point.
It doesn't matter. It's like the same thing with me last year. I can't stand Teddy Bridgewater, but I supported him because he was on my team. It should be that way for all players. You don't have to like them, but you need to support them because they're the ones that are going to win the game for you.
Right.
If you start being negative towards them, it's going to roll off onto the other team players, and it's going to bring them down instead of bringing them up.
Yeah, and there's one player. There's one player that I support 100%, and that's Noah Monogany. That's right. Noah is him Monogany.
And another point, Shake Money.
Hold on, before you come up, let me introduce our next panelist. He's a big he loves to chop it up with Papa Paul. I like him too, Mr. Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. Welcome to the program.
What's up, Big Nick?
Bands up. Mr. Winters, how you doing, panel? I hope everybody.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Big Nick?
So really quick, and I'll let you guys continue with the conversation. But really quick, I want to circle back to Mr. Winters about the special team. I understand what you're saying about the special team. You got to remember, none of his guys was actually playing special teams because they had to play defense because we were so hurt. So I think McDaniel is a very fair coach where he would give people the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to see what they can do once they're fully staffed. So I think that may be the reason why they decided to go once again with Danny Coleman.
Right. Got you.
Because remember, our defense, we were playing the 5th, 6th, and 7th string guys on
That's
defense.
true.
Guys that, was strictly never should have played defense. Bethel never should have been on defense for us.
Right.
They were like Keon Thompson never should have been on defense. They should have played special teams.
Yeah, you're right about that. And go back to, I think there was a segment where Ali brought up, do I take that energy and spray that energy across the board? Yes, I do. I was on Xavier Howard's ass last year. That's literally, sorry about that, guys. I'm still at work. But literally, that's literally my favorite player on the Dolphins. I'm a huge Xavier Howard fan. I've been a huge Xavier Howard fan since we drafted him. So when I seen, don't get me wrong, I didn't expect him to tie the record again, but I expected to him at least be better than what he was last year. Was he playing hurt last year? Yes. Did he have off the field issues? Yes. But, bro, you still got to play the game. Like, you can't be out there stinking it up because he got toasty biscuits at least 5 times last year. You know what I mean? Hopefully this is Xavier Howard comes back.
And a lot of that.
Hold on, before you get to that, Lewis, you want to read this one? Hold on, Big Nick. Lewis, you want to read this one?
Yo, Lewis, Shake, come on, guys. I love you guys, but all of y'all are full of mierda. Love you guys. I'm old, been there, but okay, just let me know about what is really up. Like, I mean,
what is the 72 logo talking about?
Is it me or is 72 Finn's logo Estefan's burner? It sounds like Estefan.
I don't know.
He's a Cuban dude.
I don't even know what the question was. I don't even know what the question was, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. But 72, I appreciate the $20 donation.
Right.
But going
Okay,
back to
one more. How much
how
money
much
do you?
money you need?
No,
Just
you
let me know. I'm old. Oh, he's talking about the panel. Again, 72 logo. These are the guys that we already had scheduled. Like me and Shake is doing
next week.
Monday.
We'll schedule you. We'll schedule you in next week, bro.
Right. Yeah. If you want to be an exclusive panelist on the Monday show next week, 72, just get with me or Shake. We can make that happen. The guys that are up here tonight are the guys that we already have scheduled. So that's just what it is.
Please don't take it personal. Thank you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Nothing personal.
So Mr. Winters, Mr. Winters to Xavier. Xavier is one of my favorite players as well. I really do like Xavier. I personally think he's top 3 cornerback in the league, but I'm biased, right? But
I agree.
I think last year, and I'm not even going to count. Yeah. I'm not even going to count the injuries, right? We all know he was a little banged up. But I also think Boyer put that man in such bad positions over and over and over again. I mean, we zero blitz on downs like 3rd and 4. You know what I'm saying? Like you just put him in that one Buffalo, that bomb. No, what one Buffalo was Cincinnati when he got beat on the bomb. That was a terrible defensive call.
Yeah.
I don't want to put him out there on that island like that, you know. So I give him a pass. I do. I really did.
I give him a pass to a point. I'm hard nosed, bro.
Yeah,
I got
real shit.
And that's going back to where we were.
You're veteran. I'm not being as lenient.
Where we were in the beginning of the conversation, where we were talking about. That's where I'm at, right? All I'm asking for in this community and fan base is to be objective and not be objective for one.
Was on the side.
Don't be objective for one player, a certain player on the team. This is where people get confused, right? Ali said it best. It's about the logo. Week 1, let's say our beloved Dolphins go to the Chargers and they lay an egg for whatever reason. They play like dog shit, right? Come out and kill them, right? Because that's what they deserve, right? But in the same token, if our beloved Dolphins go to Los Angeles and dog walk the Chargers, come out and praise them, right? Because that's what it's about. It's where people get confused. It's whether it's the player or the team in general, right? I hate the fans that go to the extreme that let's call out a certain player, Tua. Well, he can't do this, he can't do this, he can't do this. But the man threw for 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, like multiple games you've seen this season, and we would still find the little things to nitpick at. Like that's one side of the extreme. Then you also have another side of the extreme, right? That because you love the Dolphins so much, everything is perfect. Everything is like smelling roses and eating ice cream and chasing unicorns, right? There cannot be nothing wrong with the team because they're just the Dolphins. And that's where the divide is. If you can be objective and you can talk knowledgeable football, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't have to be considered hate or you're doing it. It can just come from an objective perspective, and that's where we need to get to in a fan base. And that's just where I'm at.
Amen. You said it perfectly, Luis. You said it perfectly, man.
Another $5 donation, Shake. If you want, just let me know to come up to the panel. Like I said, we'll work with you next week, bro. I promise you.
I just wanted to say before we go ahead, guys, I only got like 5 more minutes. I got to lock my kitchen up because I'm still here at work. So I just wanted to excuse myself for like within 5 minutes. That's all.
That's all good.
Okay, you got to hear this then. You got to hear my proclamation. My proclamation is the Miami Dolphins will be the representatives of the AFC in this year's Super Bowl.
I agree. I've been saying that.
I like the proclamation.
And on that note, that means anything less than that is an abject failure.
And if you're a real fan, you've never said it before.
We did get some AFC East news if you guys want that broke.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
All right. So Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Patriots and wide receiver, not D-Hop, but Devontae Parker reached an agreement on a 3-year new contract worth up to $33 million. The deal done by Parker's longtime agent and owner of management, One Jimmy Good, also includes $14 million in guarantees and per game roster bonuses. Parker finds a home in New England. D-Hop not to New England. You heard it here.
Where'd he go?
That just assured that New England's going to be in purgatory for that time period.
I figured I had to announce that, Crypto. I know you love Devontae Parker. You have all of his jerseys.
He's gonna.
I appreciate that, Ali.
I'm just gonna you know I love
salary. You. That's a good salary for a number 2. That's a good salary for a number 2.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't see them getting D-Hop now because that ate up a lot of their cap salary or cap space, and I think because
you got to put that in perspective. That's New England's number 2 is like everybody's number 5 or 6.
I want to say they only have $14 million available. I think that's all they had.
Because Juju is their number 1, isn't it? Isn't he?
Yes.
Damn, Crypto.
Shit.
So I figured I'd share that news. I don't know if you guys want to talk AFC East at all.
No, that's fine, Ali. I appreciate the news, man. That made my day, Ali. That made my day. I just want to let you know that.
I mean, what is there to talk about? Patriots cheap. The Jets suck. What else is more to talk about?
That's true. I think that's kind of high for a Patriots salary. They're not cheap on that one for some reason. But it is what it is.
Hey, shout out to Adam.
How much did they give Randy Moss?
Well, at that time, I would have given the bag for Randy in his prime. Hell yeah. Who wouldn't give him the bag?
Shout out to Adam Pandia with the $10 donation. Parker gets the bag. And another one. Yo, ¿qué pasa? Soy cubano from Miami. Yeah, so am me and Lewis. So we appreciate the donation, brother. Like I said,
I think the Dolphins are going to send a notice to the league the first week of the season. I think they're going to put the league on notice. I really do. I think they're going to bury Los Angeles. I think they're going to bury you.
Big Nick, I agree with you. I think they need to hit them in the mouth right away, right from the get-go. No playing games in the first half, to be honest. Go ahead.
I think the key thing for the Dolphins is to do good in these primetime games because I'm going to both of them and I'm going to be pissed if they don't fucking show up.
Are you going to go to the Charger one?
I'll be at Gillette Stadium for the Sunday night, week 2 against the Patriots, and I'm already here. I'm already here in Philly for the Dolphins Eagles, so I'm already hyped for that.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. What section you gonna be in? I got my tickets in the 300 section at the 50-yard line.
So I went through Stephen D's tail greeters, the Finvasion. So I'm not sure exactly where the tickets are going to be at, but they're going to be lower level, and it's going to be on the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be on the visitor sideline, so it'll be lower level Miami Dolphins side where the players come out. So right around that area.
Oh, okay. They got the lower level carved out. Okay.
Yeah, because they got upper level and lower level. When they went on sale, I bought it that day. I said, "Fuck it, I'm not missing this." So,
and a good friend of mine called me. A good friend of mine who's a diehard, crazy Dallas Cowboy fan. Why I don't know, but he is. He called me a couple of days ago about some $500 package that a bunch of people putting together to go see the Cowboys in the Dolphins game. I flat out refused. If anybody really know me, like my hated teams, I can't go to the game and watch. Like I just can't go see Dallas in my stadium. I can't go see the Jets in my stadium. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
What do you guys
just
think
because
about...
the Cowboys are in there, you're not gonna let the Dolphins override that?
I can't do it, Crypto, because you can't cheer for Dallas Cowboys in my freaking stadium. I'm sorry. I'm crazy like that. I can't do it. I can't take it. I can't.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about the game in Germany with Kansas City? It sold out in 15 minutes. 1.4 million people in queue to get those tickets, and they sold out that fast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I can add a little analogy to that, Ali. I have a friend she's a diehard Dolphin fan that lives in Denmark. She tried to get tickets. She was on the list. As soon as she tried to get tickets, it was like, nope. Like it's ridiculous. I think the prices was $1,000 a ticket.
I'm going to tell you straight up, that game is starting to rack up to be game of the year, in my opinion, for both teams. I think that's the game that everybody's going to watch that game. If there's going to be a European game that is going to have the highest ratings, I think that might be that game, to be honest.
Well,
Most
the
definitely.
Euro League, when we was playing in the Euro NFL Europe,
Mhm.
the only team that rivaled us in Europe, as far as fan base, was Dallas, and I don't think they was really that close to us. Like we are really big internationally in Europe and like South America. We're really big,
Specifically in Brazil and South America.
South America is
Definitely.
for the most part.
and,
Mhm.
and London is our city. London is Dolphin Town.
Right.
Germany is too. There's a lot of
Germany is too. I
Yeah.
think that's a military influence because a lot of the military,
Yeah,
believe it or
a
not,
lot of
are from
military
Florida.
bases there. Yeah.
A lot of them
Yeah.
are from Florida. I was in the military. Crypto, you know, we represented it well in the military. Florida.
What is the
Floridians
base
are.
called? Crypto Ramstein? Is it Ramstein?
Rhein-Main, yeah, Rhein-Main, Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They got one
let me
in
give it-
Frankfurt. They got a big one in Frankfurt too, where the airport's at, where they indoctrination and stuff is at.
Hey, by the way, El Capitan must love you today, man, because Sheikh, I'm just telling you that I'm old school knowledge. I'm old Cubano, but there, I
Inoculation,
was
not
there, but it's
indoctrination.
okay. Yeah, listen, again, next week,
Mhm.
I promise you, you don't have to give a donation, bro. Hit me up on Twitter. We will bring you up, bro. So,
Gentlemen, I just wanted to let you guys know I
thank you.
can sign off, but I appreciate being on. Shake, whenever you want to have me on, man, please let me know.
No
I'll
problem.
be
Hey,
on.
tomorrow we're you're gonna be in the blender with me, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
What time are we doing the blending tomorrow?
7:00.
I'll be there, brother. Everybody have a good night. If you guys are
You too.
not later at 8:45 p.m., me and brother Papa Paul will be doing the WCFL Dolphin Talk Show. Please chime in. We will be on YouTube as well.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
hey,
like I said, like I told everybody,
Hey,
the link is in the description in this channel. So y'all want to
hey,
go ahead and subscribe.
See
hey,
if you
hey,
can beat
winner.
Big
I
Nick's
will.
number on the blender.
Winner.
I think Big Nick's number one on the blender with
Hey,
numbers. So see
hey,
if you can beat that
hey,
number.
hey, winner.
No, Big
Real
Nick, you
quick.
didn't shout out Ric Flair.
Hold
You
on.
disqualified.
Hold on. Let Lewis
Chris.
land real quick.
Hold on, Chris. Hey, winners. Real quick. Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
I am. My name is at Winters. I think it's Winters_Saul. That's my Twitter, and on Instagram I am Sizzle_Winters, and on Facebook,
All right.
and I'm
All right,
Dolphin
I'm-
Winters on Facebook.
All right, I'm gonna reach out to you, homie.
Okay,
I
on
would
Twitter.
definitely
I got
love
you.
to do a show, just me and you sitting down and chopping it up, man. I think that would be great, man. I would really want to do that.
Hit me up. Papa Paul will tell you. Hit me up. Anybody will tell you. I have no problems. I'm open-minded. I'm open to anything and everything, and I'm down to listen. I'm down to do some type of concept of some sort. So just let me know.
For sure.
All
Hey,
right,
Crypto,
homie, I
stop spreading
appreciate
that
that.
narrative. I did shout out Ric Flair. I said he was a part of the best 4 horsemen stable.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
did? Okay, I didn't. I thought you was stuck. I thought you kind of throwing some shade. I was like, wait a minute, hold
No,
on.
I said
Pump the brakes.
JJ Dillon's the manager, Ric Flair, Arn and Ole, and Tully Blanchard. That's the 4 horsemen.
Okay, and Telly Blanchard. Yeah, because you mentioned Blanchard. I remember that one.
You know
And
better
old
than that,
Anderson.
Jose Valdez.
Wasn't Arn Anderson in that group?
After
He
Arn.
wasn't an original.
He was an
the second
original.
iteration.
Yeah,
The
he was
original.
the original. It was the original.
No, he wasn't an
Yeah.
original. He was
Yes,
an
he was.
original.
No, it was Blanchard.
He was not.
Tully
He was
Blanchard.
not an
Tully
original.
Blanchard.
It was JJ Dillon. It was JJ Dillon, Ric Flair, Ole Anderson. It was
Arn
Ole
Anderson.
Anderson. It was I think Dick Murdoch and
Oh, I forgot about Murdoch. Yeah.
I forgot about
I see you in
Murdoch.
this. I see you, homie.
he was
I
in the
forgot
second iteration. He was an enforcer, but he wasn't original. Him
He
and Ole
wasn't original.
Anderson. Him and Ole Anderson not even related. Everybody thought they were brothers. They're not even. He's not even an Anderson. Not Ole. Arn Anderson is not even an Anderson. His name isn't even Anderson.
No, he's right.
What is that, his stage name?
Yes.
Yeah, because he looked so much like Ollie that they went with that gimmick. That was his younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He's right. Oh
Like,
my
what's
God.
his name? Who did
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
That's what's up.
But guys, I gotta go. Y'all have a good night, and as
Be
always,
safe, man.
fins up, guys.
Fins
Fins
up,
up,
baby.
All
man.
right, winner.
See you later.
All right, winner, man. Nice chopping up.
Nice chopping up, brother. Peace.
I tell you what, guys. Listen, we're gonna go through this list, and then at the last 30 minutes, I'm gonna open it up for everybody, so we could chop it up. But let's go through this. Let's go through this little exercise real quick. The faster we get it done, the faster we could do this. So we talked about the head coach. Now let's talk about the offensive coordinator, which is Frank Smith. And apparently, I heard in the press conference that one of the reasons he got rid of the offensive line coach was because he needed Frank Smith's more of a Frank's assistant calling, with the offense instead of the offensive line. How much input do you think Frank Smith is going to have this time versus last year?
I'll go first. I think Frank Smith is good at all, but a master of none, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, we all know his prowess with working with tight ends. We do know he's a decent NFL offensive line coach. Things that I just don't think last year he had an opportunity to be wearing the hat of the assistant head coach. He really had an opportunity to sink his teeth into one particular dynamic of the field. And now that he's going to basically be focusing along with Applebaum on the offensive line, I think we'll see a great improvement there.
Anybody else? Crypto?
I have a comment. I'm just looking up something. Yeah. Lewis, if you want to take it, I'm looking up something that I want to say about this. So just give me one moment.
But I'm hoping to see his imprint really on the tight ends, though. Hopefully.
72 Lugo. Okay, Shake. Love you guys. Yeah, we love you too, bro. There's nothing but love over here, man. No animosity.
Yeah.
At least not from me. But go ahead.
Yeah, for me with Frank Smith, when I hear about offensive coordinator and stuff, I get it. I think his hands were strong a little bit too much with helping Applebaum. I think we all heard the rumblings. But, I think he'll be with McDaniel more. He'll have more of the input of game planning and stuff. But we all know at the end of the day, Mike McDaniel is the one that's calling the plays on Sunday. So, I think to have Frank Smith be in the room, maybe with a McDaniel more helping him or trying to help him guide through or how to navigate through the game plan or to set up the game plan, I think that would be good. But at the end of the day, from an offensive coordinator, I guess, perspective, it still lands for me with McDaniel because we all know he's the one that's going to be calling the plays. So.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm actually okay with what Frank Smith does. I actually am okay with this. I like McDaniel calling the plays. I want him to be the ultimate person doing it. In regards to Frank Smith, I do think that was a huge issue last season with Applebaum having to be babysat by Frank Smith, basically. Having to constantly put input or get things in order. This season, I don't expect that to happen as much or if at all, and I'll tell you why. Let's not forget that Butch Berry was the understudy to the 49ers offensive line coach, who used to be our offensive line coach, Forrester. Let's not forget that, right? And he actually is the guy who also taught McDaniel all the intricacies of the wide zone run scheme that we're trying to run in the first place. So the fact that the guy is knowledgeable in the whole aspect and actually taught McDaniel, he was the understudy of who taught McDaniel this scheme. I think the things are going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more continuity, if you know what I mean, of understanding the scheme. The play calling is going to be a lot more understandable, and I think you're going to see it move on to the field where the offensive line is moving more cohesively because their coaching staff has more cohesiveness on top of it. Does that make sense to y'all? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And ultimately, I think they're grooming the offensive line position for Coach Lim. I mean, this guy has, he has good talent. He's young. He was just inexperienced and out of place at the time we handed him the reins. But he's worked under like 3 offensive line coaches, and he's still on the team. They might be grooming that young coach.
Yeah. And the thing about Frank Smith, I like, especially with the addition of our offensive line coach. Now you have 2 seasoned veteran offensive line coaches that are going to help. I know he's not going to be as hands-on, but at the same time, he could maybe design schemes, that are offensive line friendly. if that makes sense.
I think he is. I think he's going to have a bigger input on the offensive line, more so than in the offensive room. I think the offensive line is going to be his baby, him and Coach Barry's baby.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, let's also not forget this is another year that 3 out of the 5 offensive linemen have under their belt in this scheme. They understand it better, so it's going to look that much better already. It's just the right tackle and left guard position that we have to see what's what. I honestly think Wynn kind of has that left guard position already, but the right tackle is the biggest question mark. I have hope. I honestly have faith that Austin Jackson's going to put out his best product. The only question is, what is his best product? That's what we need to see.
Yeah, I think Wynn is going to be.
I kind of think Jackson's going to be the guy, and then Wynn is going to be a backup.
I think Wynn is going to exclusively be cross training between left guard and left tackle. I don't think they're going to try to move him around because they have contingencies for right tackle and left guard. I don't think he's going to start either. I think he's strictly going to be the 6th man off the bench.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys
to that point, that's why I think he was going to be backing up. That's why I thought he was going to be the Jesse Davis role, the swing tackle, the swing lineman.
Don't be Jesse Davis though.
Yeah, I actually, if there's going to be a
Jesse
guy,
Davis role without being Jesse Davis.
I don't think he's the Jesse Davis guy. I'm going to go with fan favorite Dan Feeney is going to be the Jesse Davis guy.
But he's not cross training at all.
But he already has experience at all those positions, though.
Yeah.
Especially the interior. He can play right or left guard or center. Right.
Yeah.
So you have that's your swing guy between those 3 positions. I do agree with you that Wynn is going to be left tackle trained as well, because what you can do is move him over to left tackle when Armstead is out, and then put Dan Feeney in his position. To give you an example, and let's also not forget. No, because I think Eichenberg really is going to be the backup center, bro. I honestly think that's going to work out for him. But also, let's also not forget. And I apologize if I don't say his name correctly. Agbawehi, I think that's how you say it. Let's not forget him too. That guy can fill in a position of need. I think he's going to be the right tackle backup, and I think it's really Austin Jackson that gets.
Isn't Liam a better athlete overall than Connor? I know Connor's a great athlete, but isn't that one of the reasons why we moved up to get Liam, because he is a great athlete?
His athletic profile, yes.
So we never know.
And what he did at Notre Dame was unprecedented. Not giving up a sack in 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick, I see Jose Valdez in Dade County. I wanted to shout out them gentlemen and just let both of them know y'all are some hoes and y'all know what I'm talking about. But continue, gentlemen.
All right. But anyway, I agree with Marino. This is the line that I envision. Armstead, Wynn, Williams, Hunt, and Jackson.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think it is going to be.
Okay.
Just the question is, how well is Austin Jackson going to do at right tackle? That's the biggest question.
All right. So the next coach we're going to be talking about is Darren Bevel, who is also the pass game coordinator, and the work. What do you guys think of the work? He has an extensive resume working with Russell Wilson, Brett Favre's. That's a pretty good resume in my opinion. What do you think of his work with Tua Tagovailoa so far? How much do you think is McDaniels, and how much do you give Bevel some of the credit for Tua's growth?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
As far as Mike McDaniel being able to innovate things outside of the conventional West Coast offense versus more vertical routes and implement it kind of like what Atlanta did when Matt Ryan was the MVP during his MVP season. So it was kind of like being innovative in that way, and Bevel more like behind the scenes, kind of thing with him. So that's the kind of thing that helped Tua's growth on as far as inside the playbook, and overall Mike McDaniel's influence on how to diversify the different route tree.
I think Darren Bevel is Eric Spoelstra to Pat Riley. That's what I think he is. I think he's a shining star on offense. I'm happy we have him. I think he has the same shine, if not more, than what Adam Gase had. And I just think his trajectory is going to be the Mike McDaniel type of trajectory. Instead of working with the running game, working with the passing game. I think that guy's a star on our team.
Papa Paul?
Yeah, I know little about the coaches. I'm more than just watching the game, but from what I know about him, he's been around the league for quite a while, and he's been everywhere. I think he's actually helped Tua a lot with the input of McDaniels, because he's, like I said, he's been around the league and done it all pretty much. But yeah, Tua's helped himself by going the extra mile as well.
Yeah. And one thing that I can't forget is the fact that he turned down a couple, even one with the Jets. Who the hell wants to work there anyway? But anyway, one with the Jets and one with another team to stay in Miami. So, and these were moves up. So he stayed pat to play with the Dolphins. So I think we have something special brewing here. You know, that's what that tells me.
I completely agree with everybody's take. I honestly think it does go 50-50. McDaniel does deserve credit for instilling the confidence back into Tua, to be honest.
Most definitely,
you know, especially some of the things that you see that he had done in the offseason when he first started was more of a psychological thing. What we heard is he made the video. He played like 200 hours of video of all the great things that Tua did. That instills confidence. You went and got a wide receiver who is arguably the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver in the league that just does nothing but sweats confidence 24/7, right? In everything he does, he talks like he's the most confident person in the room, and it's playing off onto the team. You know what I mean? You see our number 2 receiver, who's really a number 1B, in my opinion. I think they're both number 1s and whatnot. So I give McDaniel all of that. Now on Bevel's side, he's more of the guy that you can say, give all the credit for understanding the scheme, the plays. You know, he's the one talking to Tua. I need you to be looking here. All the good things that we saw in the intricacy of actually on the field stuff, with everything from mechanics to what the reads should be. I'm going to give that to Bevel. You know what I mean? I'm going to give them 50-50. They both deserve credit. And I think for Bevel himself, he deserves credit because, you know, he got a really bad rap back when he made that one call in the Super Bowl when they were on the 1 yard line and they had the best running back in the league at the time that was averaging more than 5 yards a carry. You know what I mean? And they end up throwing the ball instead. So he got really bad rap for that. A lot of people were worried about that. I think this past season, he just dusted that under the rug and showed that he can definitely get the job done when it comes to, you know, coaching the quarterback and everything else that he does.
Yeah, you know what I found out when talking about that particular play? What I found out is that the fans are the one that pretty much hold them accountable for that. The NFL, like the players, they always say the cornerback just made a great play. You know, so I don't think they really hold too much fault to the call.
Yeah, but there are people in this fan base.
Outstanding, once in a lifetime play.
I agree with you, and that was my take originally on that. But there are a lot of people in this league that's not just the league, but the fan base primarily that hold him accountable for that. And there was people up and down here in the Twitter spaces, and even on the late night XL show that I host during the season. There were people that in the offseason that were saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're getting this guy. We better not be doing this. He better not be calling plays. It better be McDaniel." I can't tell you how many people said that. So I think the guy redeemed himself of whatever worries they have to say. We need to praise this man. That's basically where I was going with that.
So you had something to say,
Lewis.
My man Lewis. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I would say for me with Darrell Bevel, I mean, look at his resume. Look at the quarterbacks that he's worked. That goes without question. So absolutely, I think he had a lot to do to his success. And I agree with Ali with McDaniel as well. But the thing, and maybe this is why people call me a flip-flopper. I think it was more so Tua than anything, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think those guys helped, but if Tua doesn't put in the work, if Tua doesn't kind of clean his act up in the classroom per se and stuff. And maybe, I mean, that's where I think Darrell Bevel helped, right? More classroom and stuff. But again, I just think the work and the why we seen Tua get better, it was because of Tua. I think coaching is nice, but and this is just my opinion. I know probably people are gonna get crazy when I say it, but I'm always under the assumption the players make the coach. The coaches really don't make players. You see what I'm saying? It's either you're gonna have it or you don't. Everybody can agree. I think Andy Reid was a good to almost great coach. But when we started thinking about Andy Reid in the light where he is now, it's because of Patrick Mahomes. You see what I'm saying? And I know the narrative is, well, look what Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. Yeah, that's okay. But I think Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes even if he didn't have Andy Reid. I think there's just certain guys that are built different. And I'm not saying Tua's that or anybody's like that. I'm just saying, for me, I want to give credit, I think, in this situation where credit is due. And I would give more so that credit to Tua and not the coaching. Like when I heard Ali say, and I agree with what his premise was, but when I hear 50-50, no, I would say like 25-25. Darrell Bevel gets 25%. I would say McDaniel gets 25%, but I would give the other 50% to Tua. You see what I'm saying? I think Tua is the one that, turned the corner. I think he was feeling good. I think he was feeling healthy. And that's why I think also Tua is going to have a great season coming up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where I'm at. But I think everybody made good points.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lewis. I didn't know the player was actually a choice. I was just trying to grade the coaching staff, between what I thought. But I agree with you 100%. Ultimately, Tua is the one throwing the ball. Tua is the one that is at the line of scrimmage and playing on the field. He had to show us he could do it. So I do have to give a lot of credit to him. So definitely.
I feel the same way, Ali. I was going by the coaches, but like Lewis put it, it's plain and simple. I agree with it, that outtake on it 100%. It's the players doing the game, not the coaches are just giving them pointers and stuff. So Lewis,
I agree, Papa Paul. I'm not going to try to cut you off, but this comment right here got me in my feelings. Day County, you've never been on my ass. Trust me. I'll be lighting you up. You just know that.
No problem.
But I think a quarterback's coach, especially like on game day, is no more than like a pitching coach. They're just in the ear to settle them down, to calm them down, to tell them to breathe. That's his job on game day. During the week, he helps them game plan. He helps them talk about the routes, his favorite routes, and he makes sure those are implemented into the game plan. But on game day, it's basically he's just a pitching coach in his ear. Calm down. Tell me what you see. Let's do it this way. And I think he's great at that.
Yeah, one complements the other. Yeah, ultimately the player is going to have to execute what the coach is trying to get across.
Well, I tell you what, look, Shake, you're making some money tonight from 72 Finn's logo. Yeah. That's good. Glad to see that. But
Fernandez is
everybody
Cuban.
Knows Fernandez was a Cuban.
Stop that shit. Was he Cuban? I thought he was Mexican. You talking about Manny Fernandez?
Yep.
So I think he was half of something. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up now.
Well,
go ahead.
I think he was 50-50, but who's next? We're talking about Studsville next, or?
Yeah, no, actually,
politics. He's Cuban.
All right, so I would say let's go to the O-line, running back, tight end, then wide receiver, and then we'll finish it off with wide receiver. So here we go. Let's offensive line is Butch Berry, and me and Lewis were talking about it. One thing Lewis was talking about that I agreed was that he is a little more in your face type of. Which is kind of good. You have the yin and the yang. You have your in-your-face guy who you know what I'm saying, and then you have your nice guy McDaniels, a good yin and yang. Not to mention you also have he also has Frank Smith, who himself is a veteran, a good offensive line coach in his own right. So I think that's a good combination so far. Denver Bronco did have a good offensive line last year, even though the only concern is about the notes he put in people's locker. Apparently, he put notes in the players' locker rooms, and also the fact that Denver Broncos players celebrated when he left. So sometimes there was a saying: if too many people like you, that's a bad sign, as far as the supervisor is concerned. So, what do you guys think?
Leaving notes in the locker room. That's some high school shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, has that been verified, Shake Money? Somebody
was saying that when he got hired, that's what that was the scuttlebutt was when he got hired.
Well, I would just say that obviously Mike McDaniel feels comfortable with him, with bringing him in. I think they've had some time where they spent together, or at least Mike McDaniel knows of Butch Berry. So with that being said, I think, to Shake Money's point, I think he's more of a kind of hard ass on players, and that's, from my perspective, I kind of like that. So, like, to Shake Money point about the yin and the yang, I think Mike McDaniel is more of a player's coach, and I think both of them can work. So I just think that I'm not going to put a prediction on what Butch Berry's going to do per se with this offensive line, but do I think it's going to be any worse from Matt Applebaum? I do not. I think from that perspective, it will be better. I would at least be able to say that.
My take on Butch Berry, the only concern I have, because I admit I don't know much about him because I'm a Dolphin fan more than I am a football fan. But with Butch Berry, my only concern was that his players didn't like him. That's my only concern. Other than that, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I don't know much about many of the coaches either myself, but I try to learn here and there. Go ahead.
No, I'll just say, how confident do you guys think he's going to turn around the players that, like, for instance, like your Austin Jacksons, your Eichenbergs, and such?
Oh, in that aspect, I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think he's going to be very well when it comes to, actually, explaining and breaking down the scheme to these players. As I said before, when it came to the relationship with Frank Smith and everything, Butch Berry is the understudy of Nick Forster, who was the offensive line coach for the 49ers, who basically showed the Dolphins. Yeah, we have to remember that. I understand, but he really became something with the 49ers. Let's be real. And that being said, he's the one that showed Mike McDaniel everything there is to know about the wide run schemes, so wide zone schemes. So that being said, I think he's actually going to explain it, teach it better. We already know we don't have to worry about our center or even Armstead. I mean, really, the ones that are going to benefit are the people we brought in that are new. Austin Jackson, Eichenberg. I think it's just going to be better. You're going to see a lot better product on the field a lot sooner, rather than waiting till later in the season where they're starting to look really good. You know what I mean? That's basically what I think is going to happen. I do agree with you. It is kind of weird how players don't like him, but I don't need players to like the coach. I need the players to learn from the coach. That's what I need.
And don't forget, Hunter's in a contract year, so good things can happen on this line this year.
By the way, again, thank you again for the hey man. Listen, we're not gonna turn down a super chat. Shake Money. I'm 59 years old. You don't think that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Manny Fernandez was one of the first Cubans who played in the NFL. Stop the shit. I know the fuck. I know what I'm talking about. I'm on my ad. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. There. I put that in there for free as a tip.
No one's saying you don't know what you're talking about.
I know, but hey, it is what it is. But anyway, at any rate, I'm not going to argue. So Manny, yeah. So I think, yeah, I agree. I'm hoping that he because here's the thing that I think people were banking on. Dr. Reggie Brown, what's going on, my brother? Appreciate you.
Doc?
Great show from Doc.
What's up,
going
Doc?
on? Much love. But no, one thing about this last year, I think they were banking on was the fact that you had Applebaum. Every time I always hear it, I always think of that apple bottom jeans. But anyway, that's another story. Listen,
in the club.
Applebaum, being that he came from college, that he was going to be able to relate to the younger players and help them along because, he was, you got Austin Jackson. Remember when Austin Jackson first took snaps, he was only 20 years old. You got to think, and I like to put this into perspective. How many 20-year-old offensive tackles most of the best offensive line tackles that were drafted in the first round at 20 years old, they were still defending college players. This guy was defending 15-year vets with man strength. So at the end of the day, bro, you got a 20-year-old who still
bone marrow transplant.
Who hasn't grown into his man body. Still developing. So at the end of the day, I think I know people don't like to grade to the curves, but I like to throw that in there as well. Austin Jackson is still relatively what most offensive linemen today are being drafted. And, you actually look at your offensive line, they're this age right now, 22, 23. He's still relatively young. So that's why I think they thought that Applebaum would have been the answer because again he was able to relate to the younger players, but now they see they need someone with a lot of more experience to kind of help these guys along. So I think Austin Jackson, hopefully he makes that next step, just like the other players that we're looking to make that next step. But go ahead, anybody else have something to add to that?
No, I agree with you. It's just like A-Chain is only a junior in college. He's only, 20? They all got to have time to develop and come into this. It's a whole different situation from college to NFL. And not everyone is going to be that supreme draft pick that shows your stuff the first year and keeps developing. Some of them might take a year or two to develop and really become that full man blocking beast that they are.
And that procedure that he had, whether people know it or not, but to retrieve your bone marrow, that is a major, major thing. That's a major surgery. And you have to recuperate from that type of trauma to the body. So, he never really had that time to recuperate because after the bone marrow transplant, he was playing in college like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. So he never really had time to fully recuperate from that, and then he got thrust right into the fire. But as we saw last year in the preseason and that first half of that game he played, I don't think many people saw many issues. I think regardless if it be with us, I think that kid has a 10-year career easily. I think he's going to play 10 years in the NFL.
I agree. Like I said, I think that people just need to realize that he was 20 years old when he got drafted, and people, I'll never forget an interview I heard with Tom Brady, and he was on the Howard Stern show, and the one thing he said was that football players don't really develop until they're like 26 years old. So I think he still has a lot of growing to do. But what do you think, Louis?
At one point, we had two of the youngest players in the NFL, right? We had the two youngest players in the NFL.
Yeah.
What say you, Louis? You there?
You talking about where Austin Jackson shake?
No, the coaching, the offensive coaching. Yeah, Austin Jackson and the offensive line. Do you think that this new coach is going to help improve these players?
Yeah, I kind of gave my answer already, but yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I think Bushberry is going to do a pretty good job. Listen, at the end of the day, If we're going to be completely honest, I don't think it could be any worse from Matt Applebaum. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So yeah, I would say yes.
All right. Now we have the running back coach who's been here since Adam Gase. He was the co-offensive coordinator back in 2021. He got moved back into the running backs coach. We're talking about Eric Studesville. Being that, one thing that I could honestly say is that, I think his job is easily to be replaced because, you already have a running backs coach in McDaniel. So he really didn't need to retain Studesville because he in his own right was an offensive, he could have just had somebody promoted somebody or brought somebody up with him to take that job. So the fact that he kept Studesville in the running back room, in my opinion, says that he thinks a lot of him as a coach. What's anybody else have something to say about that?
This is his third. This is his third regime, and in 2018, it can be argued that he was the best coach. Period on that 2018 team. 2019, he was the second best coach on that team. 2020, he was the second best coach on that team. He took a huge step back when he got out of position and tried to be the offensive coordinator, and the running game suffered because of that. And last year, he took that O-line, that running back core, and had over 2,000 yards rushing. So the guy is definitely worth his salt.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the experience by more than a lot of other people, and he's been with McDaniels. He understands everything that's going on. I think he's going to really up the running game this year, with everything.
Yeah. Because that's terrible. 2018, he was the best coach on. That was the MVP squad on the team in 2018. The running back room. So,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, Flores came and he was still, a good coach.
Anybody else have anything to add before we move on to the tight ends coach?
I agree with.
I was going to say Mike McDaniel came in as the proverbial run game, guru per se, quote unquote guru.
Yeah.
So it's more like McDaniel was the one that had that moniker of being the best in the when it comes to that coordination style of a running attack.
So, what running backs? The one thing about Studesville is that his running backs don't get hurt. You know what I mean? So that's something that he's doing something right because he's teaching them some type of technique because they don't get hurt under him.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Go ahead, Ali.
Or you can say the medical staff.
Something, Ali?
That's true.
I was just saying I agree with all the sentiments regarding our running backs coach. I think he does a great job. Decent guy. Gets them ready. I don't want to say they never got hurt because I'd have to go back and look at that, but I will say that that we've always had. You can see the flashes that they can provide, and I really don't know if anyone else you're going to bring in that would be an absolute upgrade at this point. I mean, is there anybody else you could bring in that would be an absolute upgrade?
Yeah, the guy that just went to Washington.
Well, I'm talking about I'm talking about a jobless person, not a person that's already.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I honestly think he's been here for a while. He's been consistent. I think that's the one thing that I like in that room, that there's consistency. And let him grow. Let him learn under McDaniel, and maybe he'll become that offensive coordinator that he really wants to be. You know what I'm saying? I just think that this would be more just more experience to add to the belt.
Some people can, some people teach. So
that's true. That's true.
I'm not clamoring for that man to be offensive coordinator again. I don't know. That's just
well, the whole premise of having cool offensive coordinators is kind of dumb in the first place. It's just my opinion. I guess I don't, as a person understanding the game, I don't understand it. You know what I mean? I didn't like it. So that's why for me, if I'm in that position and I have to share duties with somebody, how am I supposed to even get into a groove if I'm constantly only doing half of my job? You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, they say Nick Saban can do it. Anybody can do it.
So, here we go. Now the next position coach is going to be John Emery. John Emery is the tight ends coach / assistant head coach. He had that title in San Francisco. They tried to get him to take him. They tried to get him to take a pay cut. He refused, so they outright fired him. And after McDaniel got hired to Miami, he just brought him here on board, and it was a seamless transition. So, from what I was told, the assistant head coaches are supposed to help out with managing clock and timeouts, etc. And as you could tell, that was one of the weaknesses. And of course, he worked with such guys like Tony Gonzalez and George Kittle. So, what do you guys think of? And what do you think of his work this year? And do you think he's going to help step this tight end game room up next year, especially working with guys like the wide receiver who's converted? I can't think of his name right. Converted as a tight end.
And,
Higgins, and then of course Durham Smythe. I think is one of the underrated tight ends we have. And Tanner Connor, and then the guy we signed from I think Denver. What do you guys think?
I think Emery's the first coach off the board. I think he's the first coach off the board to get a head coaching job from this staff.
You think he's the first? I don't know about that. Yeah. I'm not sure.
What makes you think? I think Darren Bevel will get Bevel before him.
Yeah, I would think Darren will get a call.
I think because of his resume and like you said, the tight ends that he's nurtured and I mean, let's face it, we don't know if George Kittle would have been George Kittle without Emery. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't when he first got into the league. He wasn't, and all of a sudden he took off. And he worked with some greats. I think he also worked with Kelsey too, right?
I think for a hot minute he did. I think you're right. Let me actually look that up. But speaking of George Kittle, though, it's not just George Kittle that he was very successful with. Their backup during his tenure that was backing up Kittle was just as formidable. I mean, I saw him make some amazing catches in a lot of different games as well. But in regards to the issues that we saw with timeouts, I don't blame a lot of that or some of the time clock and all that stuff. I don't blame all of that on the assistant head coaches like Embry and everything. I honestly think if you go back and look at some of the games, it comes down to play calling. And if they couldn't get the call out, which is McDaniel's responsibility, that's on McDaniel, not your assistant head coach. Just being honest.
That clock is on the assistant head coach. But
I'm talking about the timeouts and stuff. The clock, it is. Yeah. But in certain games, i.e. the Buffalo game, and the only reason I noticed this is because it got called out by the announcer at the time, which I want to say it was Tony Romo, called them out for it. In back-to-back Buffalo games, the referees provided false informations to the assistant head coach, which caused a timeout or some mess up to not understanding what down it was. Once in the Dolphin game, and the very next week against Cincinnati, the same exact thing happened. So
and in the playoff game, McDaniel was waiting to see if there was going to be a review by the officials. No word was ever given, and that held him from throwing the flag. I think it was some confusion with the time who should call for the replay, and they really screwed that, and so that delayed that last one because he should have threw the flag. That's what I'm saying. Throw the flag, man. Just throw it.
I agree. And in the call the plays that we had that we were on third down, we called timeout for whatever reason. You come back and you're about to do it again, and you have to burn out another timeout, and all you did was run the same play back to back. I'm sorry, but those are the issues that I blame McDaniel that needs to come back from. He needs to learn from that experience and do better in those aspects. I don't put those on the assistant head coach. I'm just being honest because it comes down to play calling.
I think he will. And I think he's going to give Tua a lot more leeway, even though I was defending like maybe Tua don't have that second play. But now that everybody's saying and that Tua master of the playbook and he knows it, I think Tua is going to take it upon himself to just run a play.
Mm.
I mean, I think as fans, I think we'll love to see Tua do that. I think that'll be like
that will be the evolution of his
that
development.
orgasmic moment, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. If he starts doing that, you know we got a quarterback till he retires, because if he can start doing that, we won't have to worry about wasting timeouts and burning up clock time.
Right.
Yep.
There's coming time where your quarterback got to bail out your coach.
Yeah. And my defense to all of that was maybe he just didn't have that maybe he didn't have that leeway to do so. No matter what, this is the play you run, and this is what it is. And some teams are like that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, I agree with all the, assistant head coaching jobs. Yeah, I agree with that. But from a coaching perspective of just coaching tight ends, I think Emery's been an absolute bust here in Miami. Really, I mean, he didn't develop Mike Gesicki. We know that. He didn't have no developing in Durham Smythe neither. And Tanner Connor couldn't even get his way on the field. And when he did, he was dropping passes left and right. So, like, for me, Emery, I mean, let's be honest. He's trash. Like, the same thing when we were arguing Darrell Bevel, and I brought up it was more so on Tua. Like, when I hear Emery had something to do with George Kittle, I don't believe he had anything to do with George Kittle. I think George Kittle, again, I forgot who said it, but when he first got into the league, he wasn't there yet. Well, of course not. He was a young player, but he was going to develop with or without Emery. Am I wrong? But what has Emery ever done here as the tight end coach in Miami? Like, we could argue.
Our tight ends didn't have no breakout years.
Tight ends were the worst part of our team last year. Like, what are we talking about? I'm just saying.
Yeah, he
might have had a career year last year, man. Durham Smythe had a career year last year.
But that's based on Durham Smythe's
Durham
measured up against
I thought Durham Smythe had better years under the Flores regime than he did last year.
No, he had a career year last year. And
I think he was.
He just didn't pick the team.
Speaking of that, regarding John Emery, you said that you thought he was trash, that because he couldn't develop, not this specific reason, Lewis, but you said that he couldn't develop Mike Gesicki. But if you go look at how tight ends are used in this scheme, you can't really use a tight end like Mike Gesicki in this scheme. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? Gesicki wants to be a receiver. He wants to be that style. Unfortunately, if you go look at, not really unfortunately, but if you look at the history of John Emery and who he's coached, they're not Mike Gesicki style tight ends. You know what I mean? And I just think that's why you saw Durham Smythe have a better year. You had guys like Tanner Connor, putting in work when they could and stuff like that. And even Long, when he was here, if they kept him, I think he could have eventually developed.
Kettle caught a lot of passes out there.
I could be wrong, but what were Durham Smythe's numbers, Ali? If you could pull that up for me, what were I could have swore he had better years under the Flores regime. I mean, I could be wrong.
I want to say
from a percentage standpoint, yes.
Durham Gesicki did have better numbers.
66% of the plays last year. 66% of the plays.
Again, we're not talking of. See, that's where the missing confusion is. We're not talking about how many snaps or the plays he did. I'm talking about his production. He wasn't more productive last year than he was under Brian Flores.
Yeah, he was more productive last year. He played
more plays. No, he wasn't.
Okay, all right.
No, he wasn't. The numbers back up. His best year was with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had almost 1,000 yards. He only had he barely had 400 years. He barely had 400 years and he had like 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's barely productive.
I don't think exactly. Almost 1,000 yards, Shake. You might want to recheck that.
All right. I'm going to Google it right now. So let's get to the wide receiver.
1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, because he never played until last year. until last year, I don't think he ever played 50% of the plays.
Well, we'll see.
We're
We'll see.
not talking
His
about
catch
how
percentage was
many
higher
times-
on the
Listen,
floor.
I'm googling.
Hey,
I'm googling.
No, I already got it. I already got it.
No,
Listen,
I'm gonna.
His catch percentage was higher.
I
No,
have
I want to
directly
put it
from
in.
Pro
Yeah,
Can
that
you share
target.
the screen? Can you share the screen then? Because I want people to see it.
I will. Just give me
Okay.
1 second. Let me
Okay,
take
we'll
care of
do.
that. One
Mhm.
second here. Okay. And then we go here.
I think he had the highest catch percentage on the team on the
There's
floor.
no way Durham Smythe had close to 1,000 yards. There's
No.
no
Well,
way.
I thought you were talking about Mike Gesicki.
Oh no! I thought we were.
No,
talking
his
about
best-
Durham
his
Smythe.
best-
Durham Smythe.
Oh, Durham Smythe has his best years. His best numbers were in 2021.
Exactly. It's not even close. Like I don't know what games we were watching out here as Dolphin fans. Durham
2021.
Smythe did absolutely nothing for us last year. And
Yeah,
in
but
the same token,
to argue the argument of
His
that
catch
though,
percentage.
look at the targets though. The amount of targets is the biggest thing. He had half the amount of targets. So really, he was really on pace. If you really look down into it, he's almost on pace to do the exact same thing had he had the same amount of targets. Just to be fair, Lewis.
But-
Just to be fair.
well,
But
I mean,
but his
I
yards
get
per
it,
catch
but-
was still higher
Yeah,
in 2021.
exactly. And I'm not even talking. I'm just talking about from a guy like everybody argues Mike Gesicki couldn't get on the field because he couldn't block. Well, I don't know what goddamn games we're watching then, gentlemen, because Durham Smythe, if you guys think he's a blocker, you're sadly mistaken and don't know how blocking works. Durham Smythe is absolutely dog water in blocking too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hurt people's feelings because that's supposedly tight end 1 this year. But you want to talk about a hole? We have a hole in the tight end department because Durham Smythe is not giving you the long playability that Mike Gesicki was giving you, right? If you want to throw it up to the flat for Durham Smythe, and yeah, his catch percentage is high. I get all that. He's catching 2-3 yard passes. All right. I mean, I'm not going to get excited. I could bring my 8-year-old out here, put it on live screen, and I guarantee you my son could catch 2 and 3 yard passes too. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
what
bro,
I'm talking
Durham
about
Smythe,
is listen.
There's a hole in the tight end room, in my opinion.
No, that's,
Yeah, it is,
I
but
disagree.
his
But at the
production
end of
is
the
a
day-
lot less than it was on the floor as far as the ratios, percentages.
Even under Flores, he was catching 2, 3, 4 yard passes too. It's not like Durham Smythe again can't give
But
you
is
what he don't give you what Mike Gesicki gave you from a pass blocking or from a pass catching ability, and he damn sure gives you just about the same production in the run blocking. He
gives you a better. Actually, he's
But
a better.
no, Lewis. Look at his yards, his average yards per target. That's almost a first down per target, 8.7.
He's a way better running back than Gesicki, and at the same time, all Gesicki did was make one spectacular handed catches. That's pretty much it.
And he was done for the rest of the day.
If you want a tight end running up the seam, right, to catch a contested ball in between over the linebacker, in between the safety, that's Mike Gesicki. That's not Durham Smythe.
That's not even Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki sucked at that too, bro.
But
anybody could cover him.
He could do, again. That's fine.
Hey, bring up Gesicki's average yards per target.
He's better at it than Durham Smythe. And I get what Keller's saying.
Hey, Ali, bring up because we saw 8.7 and 8.2.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, crypto, but the problem is I don't know what these numbers can't be right. Because maybe his average per catch is 8-point-something yards, but he's catching 3 yard passes, maybe he breaks the tackle and runs for 4 or 5 more. Bro, again, he's not.
No, that's not per catch. That's per target.
And guess what? When Gesicki was catching the ball, he wasn't running for nothing, bro. He got stopped right in his tracks.
Yeah. No, average yards per catch is separate stat from average yards per target. They both are listed on there, Lewis.
You got to factor in route run.
I get it, but look at right here, Color. His catch percentage is better than Gesicki's. Absolutely, if you're catching 4 yard passes compared to running up the seam or back fade end zone catches and stuff, more contested catch, of course. Like, I get it, I understand, but I don't know what this love for Durham Smythe is. I really don't.
Hey, but it's not all 4 yard catches because his average yards per target is well beyond 4 yards when we say it.
Hey, it is what it is. We don't have to agree. We don't have to agree. I disagree with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Gesicki in 2020 was his highest average yards per target, which means they're not 4 yard passes.
Okay, so he did that 1 year, Crypto?
I'm just trying to say that Durham Smythe had 2 years where he had over 8.
Oh,
and not to mention
so
this scheme isn't predicated on the type of tight end the Gesicki. I think
that's what I said
don't get me
earlier.
wrong. I think I'm sorry, I wasn't here, but Gesicki would have been better in somewhere like New England or Green Bay or somebody that uses that type of style. But at the same time, go ahead.
You think Durham Smythe is built for this offense? Is that what you think?
Better than Gesicki is.
So far, they kept him
better than Gesicki. But this is the argument. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love this, right?
Yeah.
We want to go get a running back. We all know what the running back is because we feel like there's a hole, right? Because we can get better. You don't think there's?
Thank you for bringing that up, Shake. Can I got to stop this nonsense. Thank you for bringing that up, Shake, because Gesicki's career yards per target, not yards per reception, yards per target is 7.1. Durham Smythe is 7.0.
If you again, we can agree to disagree. If someone is whoever's trying to sit here and argue with me that Durham Smythe is a better pass catching option than Durham Smythe, or Durham Smythe is better than Mike Gesicki, we've lost our damn minds. I don't know.
Bro, he's on par.
I guess I lost my mind there.
Hey, Lewis, we just saying he's on par.
He's a better fit for this offense.
Yeah,
and Lewis, for the offense.
Lewis, we've been saying that all offseason. Last season, we talked about this because Color broke down a better fit than Gesicki. Color broke down a whole show about the catch percentage and all the stuff that Durham Smythe does. It's almost on par or equal to what Gesicki does.
Yeah, he's 85% for a 10-yard catch. He's 85% for a 10-yard catch.
And when he's coming out, he's not running the same routes as Mike Gesicki. They've never asked Durham Smythe to run the same route as Mike Gesicki.
His career yards per catch is 11.
That doesn't mean he can't do it. And they have before. Tua has laid several balls into Durham Smythe's hands past the linebackers before the safeties, bro. Happens all the time, bro.
I agree, Color. I'm agreeing with that statement. What I'm saying is when this narrative, well, look at his yards per catch and look at, again, we're all the same.
Bro, his production is identical to Gesicki's, bro.
And what
they're
I'm
both
saying is
actually, Gesicki is about 67% for 10 yards. Smythe is about 76% for 10 yards.
Let me ask everybody a question. And you tell me if I'm off base. When was the last time,
Big Nick.
When was the last time you seen Mike Gesicki sneaking out of the backfield with nobody around him to catch the ball? When? That's what Durham.
I see it all the time.
Sneaking out of the backfield.
That is a bold-faced lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
They play two different
Mike
positions.
Gesicki and Durham Smythe are running the same routes.
But they play two different positions.
Stop.
They don't need to run the same routes.
They use Mike Gesicki as
we talked about, but Lewis, you got to realize we talked about production between the tight ends.
And they play two different positions.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. We got it. So let's move on to the next coach. Let's move on to the next coach, bro, because we're not gonna move the needle here. Anyway, the last coach that I want to talk about is a former Dolphin, and he is the wide receivers coach, Wes Welker. Of course, I don't got to mention he's never. He's been played in Super Bowls, but unfortunately, he's lost both of the ones he's appeared in. But any route, he's played with Kyle Shanahan, and now we're fortunate to have him as our wide receivers coach. Me and Lewis were talking about how we think that he is going to be helping. I think he's going to be helping, particularly Braxton Berrios, become a better slot receiver. What do you think? What say you guys?
That's Cap Dade County. I just want to throw it out there. That's Cap.
I love you too, man. Especially in the spaces. Shout out to, by the way, shout out to Dade County. Shout out to Dade County, my fellow Carroll City dude.
I don't know though, man. Hey, I don't mean to come hard about Smythe, but I just did them. I did my homework on Smythe last offseason, man. I ain't gonna let it go, bro.
That's all good, but let's move on to the wide receivers, please. Thank you.
I like to look at the leadership.
We'll say that for another day. I promise.
In the great words, we'll move on, Shake. But in the great words of one Ennis Campbell, the tight end room, in my opinion, is filled with a bunch of Liam Eichenbergs. That's what we got in there.
I mean, you could say that collectively, yeah. In relative to the rest of the league, yes, you could say that. But as far as within itself, Eichenberg and freaking Gesicki is on par, just like, you know, a golf course on par.
All right, cool. Let's move on. What do you guys think of what do you guys think of the Braxton Barrios?
But now they're on par.
Well, we're West
No, listen, let's move on, please, bro. We'll bring this up again Friday, and I promise we'll have this discussion. But let's keep on with
I look at
with Walker. What do you guys think of with Braxton Barrios?
When I'm evaluating shit like that, I look at the small intricate shit that people wouldn't look at, and he took a career special teamer and got him a number 3 contract with another team, right? Like you can't really evaluate him on Waddle or Tyreek Hill, but you just look at what he did with Sherfield. Sherfield was a career special teamer, and now he has a number 3 contract with the Buffalo Bills. So it has to be something in the coaching there.
I think Barrios is going to actually do great for us under Wes Welker, but on this special teams as well. He's going to be a great slot receiver, and he's going to help our special teams out a lot.
I think so too. I mean, we never should have let the modern day Devin Hester go, but I understand why they did. He was making a lot of money. And if you can't play on offense, you can't make $8 million and only return kicks. You can't do it. But we should have found a way to keep that guy.
I mean, Barrios has a lot going for him. He's one of the few that actually have, with the new rules of kickoffs, have run a kickoff for a touchdown.
I don't think you think he'll be the kick returner? I think A-Chain will be the kick returner.
Not to start off. Barrios, I think, will be over A-Chain. A-Chain, they might try him out on it, but I don't think they're going to use him as a kick returner right to start off. I mean, I'm a big fan of A-Chain.
It won't be that many run backs anyway, so it really don't matter about kick returner.
Yeah.
It's the punt returner. That's what we need.
Well, there again, you got Barrios for that.
Yeah.
And they'll probably throw in A-Chain because of his speed and his agility.
Didn't Barrios eat us up twice with with New England and with the Jets? Did he play for New England too, right?
I'm not sure on that.
Barrios. But I know he's the killers with the Jets with them punt returns.
Yeah. He was crushing it with the punt returns.
People don't understand how big 15 yards is on the punt return. I don't think people really understand that. Who's next on the list?
No, that was pretty much what do you guys, who else? What about Izukama? Do you think he's gonna be playing better with Izukama or
Easy? I think Easy's gonna show up this year. I think he's gonna be the what is it? He's going to be the dark horse.
You think we have a number 3, or do you think we have a committee of number 3s?
We have Barrios and is number 3, I think, but Easy's going to be right up there with him, I think.
Can't forget about Chosen.
Well, Chosen too. I mean, we could have a 3-way tie for third, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A committee.
We got plenty of backup, I think, on receivers, but I think Easy's going to be the dark horse of the year. He's going to really show out this year, I think.
And don't be surprised if they play Cedric Wilson Jr. A lot in the first half of the season to try to get him off the books during the trade deadline if we don't get rid of him before.
Yeah, if we don't get rid of him before, I think it's a possibility of us getting rid of him before that.
And then would that ease up so many people's mind about the salary cap if we were able to do that? They can see
I doubt it. They got to have something to complain about. Nick, they got to have something to complain about. It ain't going to ease up their mind about the salary
That'd be
cap.
$20 million just with that right there. That'd be $20 million.
Yeah, but
what we have now.
People are still going to say that ain't enough.
I think we need to stop talking about going out and signing offensive linemen. If there was an offensive lineman to be signed, we would have signed them already. Other teams would have signed them already. There isn't anybody out there.
You got to look. We have right now, I think, 12 offensive linemen fighting for the positions.
For what? 8 spots?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
So hopefully, we got some top of the line contenders out there, or someone who really wants to make their way in the game.
So, what position do we go get during training camp or roster cut down? A big name. Is there a big name that we will go get? Do we need? Is there anybody out there on another team that we would say, yeah, we got to go get this player if he's cut? You got to be realistic about who's going to be cut, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. You know, they're actually don't do any cut until the 29th of August, actually.
Yeah, all in one walk.
Yeah, so it's gonna depend on any injuries during training camp and stuff.
I don't see any $5 million players that'll be cut. I guess that's what my whole statement is about. Is that no matter who's going to be released or who's on the free agent market, there aren't anybody out there that's going to eat up our salary cap. You know, I just don't see it. I don't see us paying $5 million for anybody other than Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if things were to stay the way they are, I agree with you on that, because we got to have some backup money just in case.
Yeah.
And by the way, hold on, Concrete. We're not bringing up Fred because this is like I said, I mentioned this a million times. This is a small panel. We're going to be we're going to open up the panel this Friday. So if everybody, when we coming up, we're going to be open up the panel Friday, and we're going to open up the panel Saturday. So one come all, come one, come all. But as of right now, we're keeping it closed. So at the end of the day, last but not least, out of those coaches that we mentioned, right? You said of the Emery Berry. Which coach do you think out of those guys will have? I want your opinion. Might get a head coaching job first. What do you think, Paul? You want to give it a shot, or?
I mean, Berry's a good idea, but there's a possibility. You know, he's got a lot of history behind him. Is Studesville?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities because he's coached a lot of positions. He's been an interim coach before. So it's very possible, you know. It all depends on who gets rid of head coaches at the end of the year or in the middle of the year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to go back to just the system, just the players that he's been around, just his length of time of being in the league, and also having that interim banner on him already. I just think right now, if we're not going to include Frank Smith, I think right now Emery is the more logical choice because of his experience and the organizations he's worked with.
Well, I mean,
I think he has been successful everywhere he went.
Studesville's been in coaching for over 30 years. I don't know if you guys realize how long he's. I mean, he's been all over as defensive coordinator, offensive quality control coach, offensive assistant, wide receivers coach, assistant special teams coach, running backs coach, you know, interim head coach, offensive coordinator. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, I think very highly, I could see him being called up for a head coach position.
before Andy Reid got there, he kind of put Kansas City running game on the map, right? From Kansas City, right? Or was it Denver? One of them, he put their running game on the map when they had like shit for head coaches.
Yeah, and I tell you, I think this year with A-Chain, and if we get Wood, or Cook, it's his opportunity to show his stuff, and if he does it, he will go as a head coach somewhere else.
Do you guys know we've never produced a coaching tree? This organization has never produced a coaching tree.
No,
never.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember. You got to remember, everyone wanted to stay with Shula, and back then, even players stayed where they didn't go around as much like they do now, because it's more of a business now. But after Shula, we never had anything worthwhile, really.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, but he never produced a tree either. He never produced a tree. So
the closest thing was what? Wannstedt?
Yeah. Noah Turner was a failure. Wannstedt, I guess he took 2 teams to the playoffs, but he's no jeopardy of being in the coaching Hall of Fame or anything like that. But yeah, we just never really produced a coaching tree. But I don't know how many coaches actually have, if you really want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to boil down to it, not many coaches have. Mike Tomlin has been in Pittsburgh forever, and he doesn't have a tree.
Yeah.
So
well, Nick, where do you live, Big Nick?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, so you'll be at the games and stuff, right?
To be honest with you, I'm an at-home kind of guy. I love it on television more than I love it in person. So I very seldomly go to games because I just get more enjoyment out of the I'm a every kind of information you can give me type of guy. So I want to
hook up with you one day, and maybe if one of the games that my wife's not going with me, maybe you'll join me at a game.
As long as it's not the Jets, buddy.
No, I don't think you have to worry about that.
I'm sorry. Both of us are gonna 2 old men are gonna be fighting in the stadium because I hate them motherfuckers, man. I hate them. I hate them. I don't want that. I've said this on the panel openly, and I'll say it again. I'm not hoping for their plane to go down, but let me stop.
But yeah, man. Anyway, we about to close this up. I know you got to prepare for your show, and Big Nick, as always.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Next
sorry,
week,
Shake, real quick,
yeah.
Shake. Paul, from our generation, you're my generation. Who's your hated team in our division? What team do you hate? Like unequivocally, that's you hate them.
New England. It's been New England for
really over the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been New England for me too.
I don't hate New England.
JETS sucks. That's plain and simple. But New England just gets under my skin. I lived in Boston for a year, and it was the worst year of my life.
I feel sorry for you, Papa.
I don't hate New England because even though they have 6 rings, to me, in my mind, they were still all counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't care. I don't hate them. I don't hate Buffalo. I don't think nothing of Buffalo. I hate the Jets.
Hey, by the way, speaking of which, I'm glad you're up here, Ali. Tomorrow, Winters is in the blender. July 11th, Coach Doc will be in the blender, and the Thursday after next week, this gentleman right here that just to my whatever direction is next to me is gonna also be in the blender, and I can't wait for you to be in there, man, Ali.
Yeah, definitely, man. I can't wait to be on the show. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and make sure everybody that's gonna be on Larry K's channel, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so make sure you check out Larry K's channel and hit like and subscribe, and definitely.
No Van Ginkel talk.
Long as you don't say nothing bad. Long as you don't say nothing bad about Brett the Hitman and Ricky Steamboat while you in there, Ali.
Actually, I love me some wrestling, bro. So bring on the wrestling questions. Bring on. You have to understand. You have to understand. I'm a big Iron Sheik fan, so I'm ready to make people humble over there.
That's almost
the Iron Sheik.
He passed God rest his soul, by the way.
Bret Hart was so
he did.
overrated. I'm sorry. He was so. His brother was
Bret
10
Hitman
times
was
better
the
than him.
excellence of execution.
His
Do you
brother
guys
was 10
realize?
times better than him.
Do you guys realize that his whole moniker, the best there ever is, the best there ever was, is so overplayed? Look, even Chris Jericho is doing the same exact thing on AEW. I mean,
And
come
he
on.
can't hold Chris Jericho's jock. I'm telling you. Chris
I'll
Jericho got
second
more
that. I'll
claims to
second that.
I tell
I'll
you
stop
what,
it. Bret the Hitman will fold them it will fold them up in 3 pieces and throw them out for lunch.
The only thing you ever heard him say, the only
I
thing
used to
you
go to
able-
wrestling that was in high school gyms around here to watch Dusty Rhodes.
Heck yeah,
Yeah.
I love Dusty
Yeah,
Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Cody
Now
Rhodes,
that's an
I
old.
like him. I like him a
He's
lot.
a bit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I like his brother.
No, I'm
better. I
saying
think
Dusty Rhodes, but Hulk Hogan always one upped him though.
Yeah, well, but you really never seen wrestling until you went to a high school gym to watch the wrestling going on in there. It was a lot better than big stadiums and stuff.
At the stadium, yeah.
And we had Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, all them back then.
Mm-hmm.
The Haitian sensation, Tyree Pride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
Watching them in the gym was the best.
See, I grew up with like that whole, like, you have Dusty Rhodes, you got, all the big names that you can think of, like what you
Slaughter.
see, Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, he was a good one.
You mentioned Iron Sheik. Did you mention Nikolai Volkov? Nikolai Volkov was his counterpart.
Let's not forget about him.
Yes.
Correct.
No, they was on 2 different programs. They didn't wrestle each other. They was on
No,
two
but they
different,
were tag team. They were tag team.
Yeah, but they
for a
were
hot
tag
minute.
teams.
Hey,
At one
Oh, they
time.
were?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were
I don't
tag
remember
teams
Nikolai
together.
was in WWF.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
had,
he was.
Second then,
They
right?
even had them together in the
Yeah.
cart. I don't know if you guys remember this, but WWE or WWF had a cartoon at one point,
Yeah.
and they had
You're
them walking
absolutely
next
right.
to each other, bro. So-
Yeah, they played. They
Right, he
was with each
over
other.
there. But do you know who Nikolai? You know his best tag team partner of all time, right? Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah.
Nikita Koloff.
Nikita Koloff, yeah. Nikita Koloff, yeah.
Okay, my favorite wrestlers. I know Shake is ready to go, but my favorite wrestlers of all time. My top 2. Undertaker's #1. Nikita Koloff is #2, man. That Russian circle was the best move I ever saw in my life.
I'm gonna have to go.
I liked Undertaker, but who I got a kick out of was Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim. I
Hillbilly
remember
Jim.
him.
Hillbilly and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah.
Yes.
That dude was 6'9", 350 pounds, and moved like I do. Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, Hillbilly Jim was a fast one. You didn't see it when you look at him at first take. You'd be like, "Damn, I can't believe he can move that fast." And he was solid.
6'9". He was like,
He was
you guys think,
solid dude.
what's his name? Braun Strowman is big.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim dwarfed Braun Strowman. Dwarfs him.
Yeah.
All right,
He
man.
was.
It's been a real pleasure, man. Fans up. Papa Paul, IG, Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. Hit me up on IG. Let's talk, man. Let's see what we can do.
Okay. You have a good
If
night,
you have
Big
IG.
Nick. Come watch my show at 8:45 if you want. I can probably bring you up at times depending on how.
Hey, by the way,
I'll be there.
Nick, would you be if you want? Would you guys? I have each other. I have Paul. I have your number, and Nick, I have your number. Would you want me to exchange numbers?
Absolutely. And I keep asking the fans tailgate, and I'm gonna ask Papa Paul as well. Make me a 15-second bumper, 15-second clip video. Let me run it on my channel, man. Let me help get your numbers up. If I tell them to go subscribe, whether they ring the bell or not, they will go subscribe. I just want to give them something as to what they're going to subscribe to. So if you can
I'll do something and send it over to you, Nick.
Yeah, make me a 15-second clip. I'll attach it to one of my videos. Like 2 days ago, I got a video that's approaching 200,000 views. You know what I'm saying? Even if you guys get 1,000 subscribers just from that, it's something. I want to help you guys out as much as possible.
Yeah,
I want to do one. I want to do one of the in the blender if you don't mind too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I post it to my video, and I tell people go subscribe, and they will.
Okay, for sure. But anyway, I appreciate you, Big Nick. Let's do some final thoughts. Who wants to go first?
Let me get out of here. I just want to thank everybody for having me. I appreciate y'all. I learned a lot from you guys, and I learned what to believe and what not to believe also. I just appreciate you having me on the show, and thank you for helping me out there, Shake.
Yeah, for sure.
And good night, everyone. Peace, love, and fins up.
And
Fins up,
please,
buddy.
hey, please tell Ali I said hi, man.
Papa
Please.
Paul.
I'll go next.
right.
I'll go next, but I defer to Crypto. Give my final statement, Crypto.
The Dolphins will be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl this year. They will be the representative for the AFC.
I'm for that.
All right.
Ali, anything you say?
You know what? I'm gonna back Crypto up. We're coming for everybody. So AFC, get ready. Miami's here. It's showtime. Fins up.
Hey, by the way, unfortunately, Wooback had to cancel the Samoan thing, so it's gonna be we're gonna do the countdown, the cornerbacks countdown. So we're gonna do that's gonna be next on the agenda this Saturday, Friday. We're gonna do drive time. Drive time. Whenever you see drive time, that means it's open panel. So this Friday, everybody who wanted to get up will have their opportunity to get up. So make sure, and like I said, please be respectful. But anyway, at that rate, man, thank you for watching, and fins up. Until next time, baby.